What's up, everyone? Welcome to Behind the Grind TV. With Doom: The Dark Ages only a few months away at this point, there's no better time than now to dive into one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time, Doom. Wait, not that one. I mean, yes, but not right now. Let's try that again. Doom! No, not that Doom. That's not even a video game. It's a movie, and it sucks. Doom. Released in 2016 and developed by id Software in collaboration with Bethesda, in a kick-ass revival of the once-dormant franchise. You see, the original Doom from 1993 is one of, if not the most influential video game in the history of first-person shooters, that inspired basically every big shooter that's out there today. In its prime, Doom was the game that laid the groundwork for everything else to fall into place after it, but eventually, after the release of Doom 3, the franchise kinda fell off. What I mean is, Doom 3 was such a change of pace given that it was more akin to a survival horror game than a Doom game, which mostly focused on minimal storytelling and intense, fast-paced gameplay. So, after a 12-year hiatus, Doom Guy finally returned in a brand new game developed by the same company that brought us the original. Doom released to massive critical acclaim for being a beefed-up version of the original with basically everything updated for the best, while retaining that same gameplay that made the OG great. Badass demons, badass weaponry, and badass music to kill the demons too. So all in all, what do I think of Doom 2016 nowadays, in 2025? I mean, it's been 9 damn years since the game came out. I know, time really does fly that fast. But does the game still hold up after all this time? Before we begin, I want to ask you to please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel with the bell notifications on. On another note, thank you for all the support here on the channel. Brand new channel memberships are now live, so you can join my channel members, where you can get access to exclusive emojis, play cool games with me, and even give me personal video ideas. The official Behind the Grind TV Discord channel is also live that anyone can join for absolutely free, and special members that are a part of my Ultra Fan membership tier can even join the members only channel. Click the link in the description now to join, and let's game on. With all that out of the way, let's take a closer look at this installment of the Doom series. So as stated earlier, Doom 2016 is a revival of a franchise that, up until the release of the game, was in complete hibernation. Doom is not a remaster or a remake of the original. Instead, it's more of a reimagining, a reboot if you will. Certain aspects of the game are directly inspired by the 1993 release, and looking in retrospective, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are to the new generation what Doom 1 and 2 was to players back then. It's sort of establishing itself as a respected new take on the source material that keeps the integrity of the originals, while crafting a new style for its own. And let me tell you, that style is super badass, and the best part is, it works masterfully well. It's such a wholesome breath of fresh air to come across a video game that has this much love and care put into it. I mean, it is the original development team from all those years back, so if anyone knew what this game needed to be, it was id Software. An unexpected collaboration for sure, id Software paired up with Bethesda to bring us the now revived Doom franchise that has appealed to new audiences everywhere. To be completely honest, this version of Doom is what got me into the series. As a kid, I always knew what Doom was, but I had never played it before, so when I saw the trailer for Doom Eternal for the first time, it blew my mind away. Soon enough, I found myself at my local GameStop. Yes, I still go to GameStop, so call me Boomer all you want. Picking up the beautiful Doom Slayers collection, and the rest was history. I remember booting up the game for the first time and being shocked that there was no sprint button or a reload option, as it typically is for most games of the genre, but ultimately, that's what makes Doom unique. Doom Guy doesn't need to sprint. He moves fast enough, and the no reload thing makes the combat feel more fluid without having to interrupt the gunfight every couple of seconds to load a new magazine. The identity of Doom is one of the core principles that sets it apart from everything else, and so the core experience isn't a lame shooter that wastes your time by making you switch magazines all the goddamn time. Upon starting the game, Doom just freaking gets straight to the point. Doom Guy wakes up and immediately gets to killing every demon in sight. Eventually, you make your way to that sexy ass armor of his, and soon enough, you're blasting demons with a shotgun and tearing them apart. The beauty of this introduction is that all of this happens within minutes and isn't a wasteful use of players' time. This is basically the tutorial. You suit up, kill some demons, and keep pushing forward. After killing a room full of hellspawn, we make our way to this elevator where we get the setup for this story. Someone unleashed demons on the UAC base on Mars, and now it's our job to stop it. The testosterone is just blasting through my veins at an explosive rate as I just gaze upon the screen in awe.
I'm out of hand now, yes. But it was worth the risk, I assure you.
And just like that, it's time to start ripping and tearing. So like I mentioned before, there's a demon outbreak on the planet of Mars currently bringing havoc to the UAC research installation. A scientist turned cult leader named Olivia Pierce makes the stupid stereotypical villain move that involves some sort of brainiac know-it-all trying to advance humanity into the future but fucks everything up for the rest of the base. She unleashes a demon onslaught that brings the forces of hell into a massive invasion of the Martian landscape, and well, Doom Guy has to wake up from hibernation to send these freaks back to hell. Literally. I love how he just kinda wakes up and is immediately pissed off, like he doesn't take a whole hour to wake up like the rest of us common peasants. You'd think he'd have some kind of sickness or hangover after lying dormant for so long, but Doom says screw all that lameness. Kill demon now, please. Maybe one of these days I'll wake up just like Doom Guy and see how my girlfriend reacts to the immediate shitty mood I'd be in as I smash her head onto the bed like Widow Demon. Wait! That was just a joke. No girlfriend was harmed in the production of this video. Sauce? Trust me, bro. So anyways, Doom Guy, or actually the Doomslayer as he's now known as, teams up with AI Vega and Tinhead Dr. Samuel Hayden to fight against demonkind. I'm just gonna keep calling him Doom Guy as it's shorter and the classic way to identify the character. Doom Guy doesn't actually need the guidance of Vega or Hayden, as I'm sure he'd eventually figure things out on his own, but it's a nice change of pace to have some assistance moving forward. Maybe Doom Guy himself is starting to be a senior citizen.
A senior moment, perhaps.
So he needs help from others from time to time. This story really isn't anything that special. I mean, it's a commonly told story where someone is trying to do something for the betterment of mankind but fails drastically, but it's engaging enough to where it's interesting and doesn't take away from the gameplay. You see, Doom isn't here to tell a super in-depth, character-driven story with profound themes and interpretations. Doom just wants you to shoot things and blow shit up. It would have been a disservice to the game had the developers focused on the story more than the gameplay, so thankfully, the gameplay is front and center. In actuality, a lot of the story is actually conveyed in these codex entries that can be found and unlocked during the campaign, similar to the way Dark Souls tells the story through item descriptions. Whether it be information surrounding the environment, some cool monster lore, or even some facts about the massive arsenal of weapons, the codex has just about anything and everything in it. While playing through the missions that take place in Hell, we can also find these podiums that, when interacted with, a friendly demonic voice tells the tale of the Doomslayer.
Of the doomed, his prowess was shown. In his crusade, the Seraphim bestowed upon him terrible power and speed, and with his might, he crushed the obsidian pillars of the blood temples. He set forth without pity upon the beasts of the 9 circles, unbreakable, incorruptible, unyielding. The Doomslayer sought
I think it's pretty fitting that the demons themselves tell his story as, to them, Doomguy is basically the devil. The way that Doomguy is spoken of really sets up his backstory super well, and we immediately understand that in hell, Doomguy is a feared icon of destruction. The bread and butter of Doom is the gameplay and the combat. I previously stated that when I first played this game, I was thrown off by the fact I didn't have a sprint or a reload button. The game flows seamlessly and everything just makes so much sense when you put it all together. It's like Doom as a whole is a cheeseburger, but all the added ingredients make it great. There's no sprinting because Doomguy is already moving super fast. There's no reloading except for the super shotgun because all the weapons are designed to be fired without running out of ammo, and if you need health, do a glory kill and chainsaw for ammo. While you can still find ammo and health on the ground as you play the game, I think it was a genius idea to implement item drops into the way you play the game. I haven't even mentioned yet that the glory kills are super fun and violent to do, and the fact that you get health from doing them incentivizes the player to do them given the opportunity. Similarly, the chainsaw functions as a way for players to stock up on ammo in the middle of a combat scenario. Simply whip out the chainsaw and you get ammo drops. The way these options blend into the flow of combat really makes for good gameplay without interrupting the violence. The combat is a beautiful mix of blood and guts that really brings out the violence we want to unleash on the nasty Xeno scum. Every weapon is delicately designed to deal with a specific situation, and they work perfectly well with the enemies. Fodder enemies are really easy to kill, but in overwhelming numbers can get the best of you, while melee masters such as the Hell Knights can get up in your face and kill you with ease. What I like about the variety here is that there really is a sense of personalization when it comes to the weapons you use against the demons. Each weapon has upgrade paths that essentially change the way they operate, and certain attachments and upgrades can be good for one scenario and bad for another. For example, the Gauss Cannon is your best friend when dealing with cacodemons, and the Super Shotgun is amazing against pinkies when they leave their back exposed. Think of it as a game of chess. You always have to be thinking about the next move and how to best prepare for it, so keep that in mind when acquiring different weapon upgrades. All of this gives some RPG elements to the game that just allow for more options by the player. As you play the game, each level has a set list of challenges you can complete for extra points to go towards your weapon upgrades or suit upgrades. Some suit upgrades allow for more equipment charges, better dexterity, and even better resistance to environmental dangers. This whole system is not too complicated to the point where it would feel out of place and instead feels just fine. Exploring the levels, you can find secrets to include collectibles like these toys that give codex entries or these data slates, upgrade points that Doomguy pulls off these dead bodies, or these flying bots that allow for weapon modifications that Doomguy hilariously slaps the shit out of, and even these rune challenges. Taking on a rune challenge will see the player engage in some kind of timed quest that upon completion will grant the player with a rune. Just like weapon and suit upgrades, runes have a profound impact on your gameplay style, so be sure to equip the ones that will prove most useful. As you use a certain rune, you can also level it up through its own upgrade path, once you meet the requirements that in turn make the rune all the more powerful. Another cool addition to the gameplay is the fact that we have power-ups that give us a temporary boost. Whether it be a quad damage multiplier, a hasty speed increase, or invulnerability, these make for intense combat encounters as when you grab one it makes you all the more hyper aggressive to kill everything around you. I didn't even mention the best one called Berserk, that just sees Doomguy go into a ballistic rage and just starts tearing everything apart, which made for really good violence. All in all, I feel like there's enough variety within the gameplay to allow for some sense of player choice and freedom, and is in no way a negative to the core experience. No two playthroughs will truly feel the exact same. When it comes to the way levels are presented to the player, it can be a little lackluster. What I mean is, while not the biggest disappointment, is that there's no true variety in the world design. You get three options: UAC Futuristic Tech Facility, Mars, and, well, hell. There's not much difference in the environments you fight the demons in, but this gets changed in Doom Eternal, so thankfully, a lesson was learned here. I don't think it takes away from the gameplay, but it does make playing through the game a little repetitive when everything looks the exact same. Speaking of things that are the exact same, you can even find these secret hidden levers that will unlock a classic mission from the original. What a treat! In terms of design and layout, it's pretty standard. You get a minimap you can use to pinpoint where you want to go next, and it's fine for what it is, but if you're a completionist, you'll be pulling up the map constantly. Levels consist of small, close quarters hallways and large, open terrains where all the big fights happen. Doom reuses the color-coded door system from the originals, and all these years later, that same system still works really well. If a door is blue, go find the blue key that's locked behind a red door. What we have in art direction and the world as a whole is in awe to look at. The graphics still hold up considerably well for the game's old age, and the designs for everything from enemies to environments and weapons are stellar. id Software really managed to pull off a timeless classic with this one that can be enjoyed for years to come. Finally, it's time to talk about the absolute ear candy that is the metal soundtrack composed by the god, Mick Gordon. Without him, this game would not be the same, and I definitely mean that 100%. Originally, Mick Gordon was told by id Software that no metal was to be included, but he was able to persuade them into changing their mind. Thank the gods for that decision, as there's nothing cooler than blowing shit up and listening to metal. Could you imagine how different this game would be had they decided to not allow the metal and instead go with some other generic ass soundtrack? I feel like what makes these new Doom games have their own identity is the music itself, and while the music from the classics were also great, this soundtrack makes everything feel so violent and gritty. The soundtrack is right at home with the existing mechanics in the game, so it'll quiet down when there's nothing going on, but it'll ramp up when shit hits the fan. What's even cooler is when performing a glory kill, the soundtrack kind of pauses while the animation plays, then picks up right back after. It's like the game is saying, oh shit, watch this, and it makes you feel all the more badass. Hats off to Mick Gordon, and it's unfortunate what happened with that whole situation. You will be missed, man, and thank you for what you brought to Doom. So in conclusion, Doom 2016 will always be cherished as a game that had no fucks to give yet gave the most. It's the game that we needed at a time when gaming was feeling stale with rinse and repeat garbage trash like Call of Duty or Halo. Doom tells a perfectly intriguing story and delivers the ultimate power fantasy of being an unstoppable badass that makes demons shit their pants in fear. So the answer is yes. Doom 2016 is still awesome all these years later. With all that being said, have you played Doom 2016? If so, what do you think about it? If you haven't already played it, go check it out now, just in time for Doom the Dark Ages. If you enjoyed the channel, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you so much for watching and for all the support here on the channel. This has been Behind the Grind, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!